It's finally happening. We're reading one of my most anticipated books for this entire year, and it's only February. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria. If you are new here, please subscribe down below and give me a big thumbs up to let YouTube know that you like my videos. But I am very, very excited because Onyx Storm, this is going to be the reading vlog where I read this. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be giving any spoilers, but if I do, I will put a big spoiler warning on the screen whenever I talk about it. But I'm so excited to be starting this. There was so many thoughts and feelings coming out of Iron Flame when it came out, and so now that I have this next book in my hands, I've seen so many reactions from people. I keep having to scroll really fast every time that I see this so that I don't get spoiled, just on the off chance that somebody doesn't put a spoiler warning on their video. I've also not wanted to know anybody's thoughts on it, even without spoilers, because I want to go in this with no expectations, no outside influence, but I'm very, very excited to be starting this, so come along for the ride. I am now 60 pages in. I've missed being in this world so much. I missed their dynamic. I missed just the college in general. And we got right to action with not only infighting, but also with Violet and Xaden themselves. So it's gonna be good. Good morning, happy Friday. I'm already on page 192. So many things have happened. I don't know how to feel about them. I don't know how to talk about them. But before work, I'm going to be making some coffee and putting the dishes away while I listen to the audiobook. So come along for the ride. am now on page 204. I'm on my lunch break for work. I'm in a training class. I have been all week, and so this is just like our lunch break, and I'm reading. This is gonna be spoilery because there's no way that I'm not talking about it in a spoilery way. So, I will put on the screen the spoilers, and then when I'm not talking spoilers anymore, it'll come off. So if you want to skip until then, go ahead. I am so glad that we are getting more information about Violet's dad and getting more insight on his connections and his thought processes before he died, because there was so much that was left unsaid in the past two books that I'm glad that we're finally exploring it. Granted, we also did get the confirmation that he didn't know that Brennan was alive. So I know that there was a theory going around that his dad did know that Brennan didn't die, but then in the journal entry we see that he was aware that Brennan was dead, unless he was just keeping that up as a pretense, just in case that Violet never found Brennan. I don't know. Things are all kind of jumbled up in my head, but I am loving this so far. It is so funny. I love the banter. I love Riddick finally standing up for himself. All of the tension, all of the everything. I'm loving it. Chapter 25. Chapter 25. That's all I have to say. Holy crap. What? What? I don't remember.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
I know it's gonna keep going. I know it's gonna explain. So I just finished chapter 33. And if you know how it ends. Spoiler warning going up now. I don't know if we ever got an explanation on Zayden's mom. I know we got the full explanation on his dad, but I can't remember because it's also been a minute since I've read the first two about what happened to his mom. I am very confused. And I can't wait to read more. Happy Saturday. Today I'm going to be going to the library to go return one of my books, and then also to be going to Goodwill. So let's see if I can find any books that I've already read that I want to own, because that's usually the only way that I'll buy a thrifted book, because I have way too many books to be buying books from the thrift store just because they're cheap. So come along with me to do that for the day. full day of doing things. We ended up not only going to the library and Goodwill, but I ended up going to another library that's within the same county so I could check out even more books. I'll do a little haul here in a little bit, but I am now on chapter 38. Like, I just finished chapter 37. So, spoilers. Riddick and Garrett. Oh my gosh. Um, I also have the audiobook going, so I'm getting the emotions from the audiobook as well. But the emotions that Violet felt for when she thought that Riddick had been hit by that knife that the cook threw, I could like my heart just sunk into my stomach. I was terrified. I'm glad he's okay. Thank God. I do think it was really funny about how he literally like beat up the cook just because he tore up his flight jacket because he was like, I hate sewing. I loved that. Um, I'm just chugging along. I'm loving it. I'm loving all the world building and getting more of the aisles. I now understand that I had seen an interview that Rebecca Yarros had done when somebody asked about the map and how it was different and how it didn't include the aisles. And I understand why she meant now about how they were considered spoilery for having it be included in the map because that's what this entire book is about the Isles. So if we had seen that in the map about the Isles being there, then of course we would have known the direction that the story was taking. So I'm loving it so much. So let's talk about the mixture of books that I bought and books that I checked out from the library. The first one that I got was Family Lore by Elizabeth Acevedo. I have read quite a few of her books already, and I absolutely love the lyrical prose and everything that she writes about. So when I saw this at the library bookstore, I absolutely had to pick it up, especially because it's a book of the month edition. So this is usually the only way that I'll get book of the month because I don't really want to try and get on the subscription list. And I'm sorry if you hear my dog's squeaker at any point during this because if I take it away, she'll start barking at me. So I hope the mic doesn't pick it up. Next in the bag is a replacement, actually, for one that's on my shelf, which is the fifth season by N.K. Jemisin. The edition that I have is really destroyed and like bitten up here in the corners from when I bought it from the thrift store the last time. And so because I considered this a much better edition, I'm going to be donating my other one to a free little library and keeping this one instead. You go over there. Next in the bag is my first library book, which is Tangled Up in You by Christina Lauren. I have already read the first two in this series, and I did not realize that this was the fourth. So I'm going to try and find Kiss the Girl before I read this one. But if I don't end up getting to it, that's also fine, because I know I can just go recheck it out from the library. Next is one I've seen Books and Lala talk about recently, which is Little Eyes by Samantha Schwebelen. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. I'm so sorry. But I'm really interested in this cover. I love all the little eyes that are on here. I think that this is having to do something with technology because it's more talking about how little eyes are always everywhere with us, like at the breakfast table, just everywhere. And so I made that connection about it being about technology rather than aliens or something. But it's just a little bit of weird fiction, and I'm excited that this is going to be my first one that I actually pick up off of Kayla's recommendations. Next is a classic that I know little to nothing about, which is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. um, I know that I need to read this. Anybody that I know that has read this has said that it has changed their lives in one way or another. So I think I need to add it to some form of TBR at some point. And the last two books in this bag are library books as well. The first one is Binti by Nyende Okodora. Okororafor. I'm so sorry about that. I have already read one of her other novels. I read Akata Warrior, and I've read Akata Witch. Akata Warrior is the one that I have not read yet, which I do have on my shelf, so I need to pick it up. But when I saw this on the library table for the Black History Month spread that they had chosen, I decided that this one would be a really easy one to pick up, considering that it's only 90 pages long. I have been seeing this absolutely everywhere, and I really do want to read it. So I will be doing another vlog, which this is going in this one's vlog. For in 2 weeks you'll be seeing another vlog from me, and that will probably go in that as well, so that I'm trying to read as many books as I can over the Valentine's Day weekend. And last but certainly not least is going to be the start of my series with TJ Klune, which is Wolfsong. I had always overlooked this before I had read any of his books, because I had didn't know anything about it. But now that I've read most of his adult novels at this point, I need to continue picking up anything and anything from his backlist. So I am excited for this. I know nothing about it, and I plan to keep it that way so that I can go in with an open mind the way that I do with all of his other works. What? That 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 can't be it. What? Okay, it has been a little bit, and I have collected my thoughts. This book, that last chapter, well, you saw my reaction. What the? What? What? The actual. Rebecca Yarros did us dirty with that little time jump there of losing 12 hours. Oh, yeah, spoilers. It's gonna be up there beforehand because I'm not that mean. But, oh my god! Oh my god. I haven't decided if I'm giving this 4.5 or 5 stars yet. By the time I finish editing and I will put it up on the screen, I should have decided by then. But, oh my gosh. My favorite part about this whole book has to be how funny it was. The supporting characters definitely lifted up this story because there was a lot of world building that needed to take place, and I really appreciate that. I love us getting to explore the Isles and getting to learn more about the gods and the type of people that worship to them. I don't think that that was ever something that I focused on in the other two books, and so I'm glad that we got to explore that a little bit more in this novel. I really enjoyed getting to see the different types of people that the gods can attract and what they deem important to them. Violet and Zayden's relationship in this definitely took a little bit of a back burner compared to how forward it was in the other two books, but I think that that was important because we got to see Violet's relationships and her community and structure outside of Xaden, because a large part of it is Xaden trying to set things up for when he's no longer here, because it's not that he's giving up and gonna completely turn Venom. It's that he wants to make sure that on every last case scenario, that if something happens, he wants to make sure that she's cared for. I'm glad that we got to see her support system through her siblings, through her squad mates, through Riddick stepping up and finally saying, like, I'm tired of being pushed to the corner, like, let me be a part of this. How he defended her while they were on the aisle with the Irids, and oh my gosh, like, Riddick literally, I loved him in this book so, so much. There's so much that we learn about second signets. Oh my god. But especially with all of the relic wearers or whatever you call them. Like with Garrick and with Imogen with their second signets and all of that. But then also we're finally getting Violets. And now that I know what it is, I want to go back and read the other two, and maybe even this one as well, and actually annotate things because there were so many quotes in this that I, especially when a book is this pretty, it's hard for me to want to annotate into a book. But I do it with all of my shitty paperbacks. I know that I can do it with these as well. It was so 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 good. I don't know how I understand the direction of making her a dream walker because of, again, it was out of the necessity of wanting to talk to Andarna, but I don't see how that's going to be necessarily helpful other than maybe in books 4 and 5 her being able to continue to be able to connect with Xaden and maybe bring him back to her. I don't know where we go from here. I definitely now see that this is gonna put me in a little bit of a funk. Maybe not as hard as it may have done to other people, but I definitely don't think that I'm gonna be able to just dive into my next read. I'm gonna have to put some fluff in between, so I'm gonna need to rearrange my TBR a little bit. Maybe I'll pick up Binti. Who knows? It's tiny. I just need to not jump into Well of Ascension right after this. That would be suicide to my reading motivation. But overall, this was an amazing experience, especially because I essentially crammed this book in like 4 days. I just have to continue to sit with my thoughts. Wow. If you got this far, I'm assuming you have already read this book. So please let me know down in the comments your thoughts and please keep them as spoiler free as possible so that anybody who will also scroll by may also read if they so choose. Um, but this is also a spoiler warning for them that if anybody chooses to spoil in my comments, I would be okay with that. Happy reading, I guess. Thanks for watching.